Hey Estes, it's Anastasia.
And Samantha, and we're back with Esthetician Edit. And today we have Daily Habits Academy with us. We have Lola and Andrea, and we're super excited to talk all about being a holistic esthetician and their sculpting method, which is pretty cool. I'm excited to hear about it.
Thank you for having us.
So if you don't mind starting off kind of with, if you each want to go, like what your background is and how you became a holistic esthetician.
So I started about 5 or 6 years ago. I've had a very long journey with my skin. I have rosacea, dermatitis, and then every time I get stressed, like something comes in my body. I get a lot of inflammation. So that's what got me started on this journey. I would try so many different things, the antibiotics, topical creams, all of that, that it wouldn't necessarily work on my skin. And that eventually led me to a more, I would say, natural path where I wanted to try some oils instead of like the topical creams, where I wanted to try some changes to my diet, my gut health in general, instead of taking the antibiotics, as they were very hard on me, on my body. So that made me kind of like fall down that path. And then obviously we created Habits. We started with Habit Skin Lab about 5 years ago. And then ever since, I have just been mastering on so many other new techniques that I've been learning out there that made me become this, I guess, what I am today.
For me, that's why I wanted her to start. First of all, like I was into skincare like my whole life, but I went to university for another thing. Like I went for marketing and advertising, and then it happens to a lot of people. You graduate and you're like, I don't want to do this.
Yeah.
So I went to esthetician school. You know, when you graduate, sometimes you're a little lost. And then it happened that I knocked the door.
And then I found her.
Yeah, she found us. And then I knocked the door and I met her. And she actually made me fall in love with the holistic side. Because I was, you know, I knew I was going to be an esthetician, but I was like in between medical, esthetician, all of these options. And then I met her, and then I realized that, first of all, being holistic in Miami is something that is not common. And then I fall in love from the healing from within journeys, all of these techniques that are actually not invasive, but you can actually see an instant result. So yeah, that's how like I became a holistic esthetician. And then through the years, this was like 5 years ago, through the years,
It's been so long.
working together is like, it's been great. Like, she's I don't know, this is getting very like cheesy, but she's my person.
I hate cheesy. She does this to me all the time.
I'm sorry, but yeah, literally, I with time, I fall in love with this approach, like holistic approach, and all of that.
We're actually going to put some photos of Habit Skin Lab because I remember when you guys first opened, and then I remember the nail salon, and I actually remember like seeing you were like in a corner somewhere, I think where the nail salon was, right?
Yeah, in the back,
And
right?
you were doing brows. Yeah, and then it's just so cool to see like how you evolved as an esthetician.
So when we first started, she was doing brows, and then I was the one that was doing the facials. But because we were just growing, like we were opening the nail section, it became a lot of like administrative things. And I knew I had to step out for a moment because I needed to be more like the admin side. And then it was so hard for me to trust anybody else with the treatment room, with the facial room in general, that I've already worked really hard to build. And Andrea, she was showing so much like passion towards everything that she did. She had like this great personality. She still does, obviously. She was just this wonderful person, which I think it's very hard to find in Miami specifically, somebody that devotes themselves to the job. And even though she was not necessarily focused on facials at the moment, like I could see in her that she had so much potential if she was properly trained. So I decided to literally help her to train on that, and then literally within months, she became like this amazing esthetician, because obviously it's like her passion as well. So she grew tremendously.
Fun fact, when I knocked the door, like to ask for the job position, I didn't finish school at that time. Like I stopped for a moment, so I didn't have a license. And then she was like, okay, perfect, you start Monday, just bring your license. And I was like, oh, I don't have my license yet. And she was like, oh, I'm sorry. Well, whenever you have it, you can knock the door back. And I was so mad at myself. Next day I went to school and then signed again. And I finished like in 1 or 2 months. And I was like, in 2 months, like, hey, do you remember
came
me?
back, yeah.
Can I just reapply? And she's like, yeah, just bring your
You
thing.
start Monday.
And you start
You
Monday
start
again.
Monday.
I'm like,
Start
oh.
Monday.
I was like, oh, thank God, it's a place to be.
Yeah.
Well, I was just gonna say, like, you guys have come in, because 5 years technically, in what you hear in the, like, with other studios and stuff like that, is not that long. It's
Yeah.
pretty fresh. In those 5 years, you guys have grown so much. Can you just talk a little bit about that, like how you started and what led you to having the studio that you have now? That's so much bigger. That also
Yeah.
offers, like, you have a partnership. Like I was telling her earlier this morning, like the yoga and the studio, all of that. Like how did all of that come to play?
I think as a whole, we've grown a lot.
Mm-hmm.
When I started, I thought this was just gonna be, a small kind of like mom and pop shop, and then obviously it's gonna be the place to get facials. But it was always I never hoped for something so big as to have 8 different rooms. I think at first I was just thinking of 1 or 2. I remember when we were opening, it's right when COVID came. So this was like back in 2020. And then COVID hit, and obviously my whole idea about having a facial business was like, what am I doing? Nobody wants to, touch your faces. This is going to be a horrible business, but I was already way in too deep. Like I already had a lease for so many years, the commitment that I needed to fall through. So at that point, it was like, listen, I need to find a way to reinvent myself. And then as we were there, the facials were the bookings were very low because of COVID. So me and my sister is one of my partners at Daily Habits, we had to think creatively. So that's when we started developing the products. So we knew that people love the products. We were using that inside our treatment room. So we decided to make more of like a retail experience out of it and start selling them.
Mm-hmm.
So when we start selling the products, more doors kind of like open up for us, which led us to quickly transform the business into something else. So it no longer became like this mom and shop, small space. It kind of became something that we were able to actually do more like nationwide. We could retail the products to other stores out there. So we started to build more of like a whole brand from it rather than just a spa, which I guess that's a difference in your question. So sometimes when you say 5 years to just estheticians that the only thing that they do is service, then yeah, it's not that much. But when you're doing both, when you're doing like service and you're doing also retail and commercializing that retail, then the growth happens so fast that it's kind of up to you to also decide which roads to go for. And your business slowly starts to transform. And then I think that's what happened for us. So by the 3rd year, we could see a very clear picture of the fact that we needed a bigger space, because we were already, obviously bookings improved and we were already doing great on the service side, but also the retail part demanded so much from us that we needed more space, because we needed more space for more products, more storage, more people to be able so that we could hire more people to be able to sell more. So that kind of like helped us quickly transform the business, honestly. It wasn't I want to say that we had a full strategy behind it, but honestly, I think the fact that COVID came made us go through a different direction, kind of like all happened spontaneously, and then we just been trying really hard to make the most out of those opportunities.
And do you guys still have the nails, or is that?
So right now we call it like a little VIP section, because we decrease the amount of service providers available that we have for that. And we only have 3 spots at the moment. So three nail technicians working. Yeah.
Okay.
I feel like also we all focus in creating community, and one of the things that is important to create community is give an experience. So talking about what you were saying about the yoga and now the tea bar and everything like that, I feel that like all those ideas that Lola had, she put them all together, and that's been helping so much to grow our community. So talking about the experience and all that, that's very important.
I remember when I first came with Sam, I was like, oh my gosh, this studio is so cute. Like, it wasn't like anything that you'd ever really see.
It's like a hidden
now,
gem.
yeah, I feel like now more than ever, of course, people are trying to get into like that aesthetic boho, like relaxed.
At the moment, it wasn't this very unique.
Exactly, it was extremely unique. I remember walking in, I'm like, whoa, this is so cute. This is not like anything that I've ever seen, and it worked really well for you. So that's
Something
glad.
that actually opened. I know if I'm talking too
No,
much,
no,
but
no.
something that also like opened our eyes a lot. Last year we went to Korea, and there like they really focus in in experience. So
Oh
we
my
were
God,
like,
the store experience is like everything.
yeah,
for
like
them.
this opened our mind like
Yeah.
so much.
Yeah, and I think it's important to put a note on that, because that's also, so part of our growth is because we really try to put ourselves out there. We receive a lot of feedback, and I think the best way to grow is to actually open up your mind. There's always people that do it better than you. There's always people that have been in the business longer than you. And so in this case for us, I'm like, I mean, obviously, like, the skincare haven is Korea, South Korea. So it's like, we gotta go there. And we made the trip. We went in February, and it was such a wonderful trip. And then every day we were there for, I think, 5 days or so, or 6 days. And every day was literally dedicated to research. Obviously, we got a lot of pampered facials, things like that. We had to try. I'm like, we have to try everything, because we want to see what they're doing different. Like, what are some of the things that we can bring back to the U.S., bring back to our spa, that people are going to appreciate here. And there's no better way to learn that to go and get it yourself, to be exposed to this new world for us. And it was just so amazing. And regarding the store concepts, like, it's amazing how much they dedicate to just the experience. So we would go to these places, like, for example, there will be like these 2-story stores, which obviously rarely happen, especially not in Miami, because retail space is so expensive. So over there, like, the entire first floor will be just like this experiential lobby, where you'll just get like a video of like the brand, and then just this beautiful scent space where you will feel extremely
It was like a museum.
relaxed. No point of sale is happening here. No one's pushing sales on you. No one is there's no way for you to purchase something in this floor. Like, you're just there existing and loving whatever is going on in there. And then if that makes you inspired enough for you to go to the second floor and purchase something, then by all means go up to there, and then that's where you have like the whole sale going on. But they dedicate so much time and space to just this experience, that's one of the things that we brought back, and that we wanted to do with this new space that we have now in Coral Way. And I think it's worked out great. So that's also, we have to be very thankful of the fact that that's our strategy, to try to be open-minded about everything that's out there, to receive as much feedback as we can, to put ourselves, to think outside of the box. Because I think what you just said, like, now everybody wants to do the same. So now it's like, we're no longer different. Like, if we were to remain at Habit Skin Lab, that's no longer going to be a different thing. Because obviously now every spa there in Miami, it's nice and aesthetic. They all pick the very similar colors. They all are within like the same decor, all of that. So for you to be different, you really need to put yourself outside of the box. And honestly, like Andrea was saying, I'm all like light colors, and all my closet, it's like white, and then I have a few like black outfits for my night events or anything like that. But everything is just that. So when my sister told me that the new place was gonna be all pink, I almost I was like, no.
And she was like, trust the process. And then now we're like, wow, I think I like pink.
Exactly. So it's like, you'll never catch me wearing all pink, and then you'll never, like, pink is just not my thing. And then all of a sudden I have, I don't know, 4,000 square feet of just pink space. It's crazy.
So it's pink right now.
It's pink.
Okay. And we had clients.
And it's so
that
pink that all you
like,
see is pink.
Yeah, and they asked like, what shade it is. I want to paint my daughter's room like that, or things like that. We're like, wow.
The other day,
an impact here now.
The other day, I got the cutest message from one of our clients. She said, I just wanted to let you know that my 4-year-old daughter asked me to paint her room like daily habits because she went to a spa and she loved it. And now I spent the entire weekend painting the walls in pink. And everything's pink. And that's the reason why. So it's like, even though it's not something that I had planned, we exposed ourselves to something
made it
else.
happen.
We're so different. We made it happen. So that's, I would say that's one of the tips that I could give to anybody out there, an esthetician out there working on her business right now, that is just like, think outside of the box. It's not only about the things that you think you like or that you're comfortable with. See what's working out there, see what other people might resonate with, and then that's what's going to help you grow the most.
Yeah. Something that I noticed, because I look at everything that you do and I'm like, how does she do it all? Like, how do you have so many aspects to the brand? Like, you have Daily Habits Academy, you have the actual services themselves. Like, I just know as like a business owner how much it just takes just to like get bookings and all of that stuff. At first, I'm like, how does she do it? But then when I look at your team, I see that you've created, like, it's not like you just have estheticians working for you. It seems like you use a lot of their creativity, like you take into account their opinions, things like that. How have you created such a great team?
So for me, and I think this is something that I've told them since the beginning, and there has been a huge part of it. The one thing that I hated, I remember when I was going to esthetician school in here, and I would be at the classroom, and then all of the other students that were there, they would feel like they never were properly treated at their jobs. They had all of them came from horrible stories of working at other places or others, but like they all had this negative experience happening at some point. So I was like, that's just not how it's supposed to be, and most of these people, especially nail technicians, for example, which often come from like a Latin background maybe, and then they're so used to the fact that maybe they're either like overworked, not paid enough, whatever reason might be going on behind it, they just don't feel like the place they work is their home. It's just a place they go and work. And for the service industry, I think that's not how you should do it, because if that's how you feel, then your customer service is always going to suck. Because obviously service is a complicated world. People have complaints, whether they like how it went or no. Like everybody has a preference. So if the person that's providing the service doesn't feel passionate about what they're doing, then it'll never work. So that's one of the reasons why it's so hard for me to hire new people, because I don't want to just hire an esthetician. Like I want to hire someone that's going to be 100% there, that's going to be working out of passion, not only because you need to obviously bring the food home. And in the case of Andrea, Angie, like everybody that works with me, they're all very passionate about it, and they all feel like it's their home. So they give 100 out of 100 without even us asking. Like they feel that place belongs to them as much as I feel it belongs to me. So I think that's one of the key parts. Andrea, for us, for example, like she's just so creative. We give her all the creative freedom she wants, and then she's
like
come
Barbie.
with great things.
Barbie esthetician, Barbie
she's
handyman,
multifunctional.
Barbie veterinarian. Like I'll do everything.
That's the Gemini.
And it's crazy. I think so. It's crazy because it must be funny for the clients. Sometimes they go there. I have like a drill, and I'm drilling something, or they go there and I'm just recording, and they're like. Some people, I'm sure they ask, like, what is it
you do here?
What is her job? Like, what is her job? Probably.
And I don't think she was aware of the fact that she had so many talents. Like, before being there, it's like...
yeah, maybe. I think
she's like, I knew already.
Exactly. I know I'm multi-talented, multi-passionate. I know that. But yeah, it's like family there. I really like it. Spend more time there than in my own house.
Yeah.
If I could bring my dogs there, we'll just move there, probably. Sending a request.
Honestly, we have like 8-hour shifts or longer. We have
working.
You
can see us like after like the shift is done, we're just there talking, like we don't have anything else to do. It's like, and what's house life?
We literally go into the spa at 9 a.m. and I think we don't leave up until like 8 p.m. or so. So it's like we spend our entire day in there. So if you don't feel comfortable, if you don't feel like you belong there, then obviously you're not going to enjoy it and it's not going to work. So we have been lucky to be able to build this great team that has been with us for the same years that we have been growing, honestly, for at least 4 years or so. And we hope to continue having it, obviously. And I think that's the main reason everything works. Because sometimes when I need to step out, because I need to put more focus either on like the academy or the products or anything like that, I know the spot, the side of the spa is already properly covered because everybody in there is performing at 100.
Yeah. It's fun working there. It's like working for Google, but estheticians, It's like very fun.
Working for Google is not fun.
Small budget in comparison
I mean, the Google offices, that's what everyone says, like they're fun.
Yeah.
I guess.
I think that's why the brand does so well too, is because your team has been there for so long, so it's like their faces are obviously tied to the brand, and so it's like, you know how they say in marketing it takes you seeing something a certain amount of times to like 100%. Pay attention. I think already people see you as like a family, or like they see you all as a whole together.
Yeah, we like, this is fun, but we created like a show like The Office but called The Spa, and we were launching like an episode every week. We have to go back. Season 2 is coming. But people every time we didn't like launch a new episode, they were like, "What happened?" Like it was like
I'm waiting for my
happened?
episode.
People were looking forward
Like
to
it was
it.
every Sunday, and now sometimes we were just like one Sunday a month or something like
Uh-huh.
that. And people's like, "What happened to the episode?" And we're like, "Wow!" Like
So
they
where can we
really-
watch season 1?
Season
It's-
1
they're
is
all
on our
on
highlights.
Instagram.
On,
They're
On your
Instagram.
highlights?
Yeah,
Okay, I
please.
haven't
On the
watched them.
highlights.
We're gonna put the link below for you guys to see.
9
They're hilarious.
episodes. 9 episodes. Don't judge.
I suffer
Just have
through all
fun.
of them. Like, I'm very camera shy. I hate it. You have no idea. I hate doing the videos. Like, it's just so hard for me to put myself out there. Andrea's like the opposite.
All of our personalities in the episodes in the show are the same as we are in real life. Let me tell you, in real life. Yes, you have to watch it. It's very
They are.
fun.
And so when you were saying like, we give Andrea enough creative freedom, and then sometimes we regret it because that creative freedom is like. I remember when she had the idea about the episode, she goes like, she comes to me and she goes like, please, please, please let me do this. Please, please, please. I swear if you let me do this, I'll give you like, I'll be Steven Spielberg. Like,
Yeah.
I'll be the best
it's gonna be a
producer
hit.
ever. It's going to be a hit. I'll be the producer. And we were like, okay, Andrea, go for it. Come up with a script. Go for it. We'll do it. And then the day comes and then she comes with her script and then we're all sitting there and she's like, okay, so this is what you girls need to do. Angie, you do this. Lola, you do this. Cami, you do this. And then we were all like,
Directing.
okay. I'm like, okay.
did a
And
great
so
job.
I'll try to give her the lines. And then she's like recording me and she goes, like, she puts the camera down and she goes like, no, listen. You're just like, you're not giving it. Like, I need
I'm like,
more. I need.
I take it serious.
No, she takes it so serious and
Yeah.
she starts like
People
snapping
will
her
never
fingers.
believe I'm an esthetician if they see me like
Yeah.
doing that. And then again, I do the script, I record, I edit, I do everything with the shows. Like it's like my baby, and
love
the
that.
academy too. But the show is like my baby.
I love that. That's so
Yes.
cute.
Yeah, you have to watch it, please.
Yeah, we are. And speaking more about the academy itself, is this something that you used to do? Is this something that's fairly new when you opened up the new spa? Can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, definitely new because I didn't used to be I wasn't a trainer before. When we were doing that transition into understanding that we needed a bigger space, there was a small gap for us to decide if within that space we were going to be able to train people, because we had already gotten a lot of requests from other estheticians in the area and from out of state of whether or not we would train, because at that moment we were, I want to say one of the first to introduce the buccal massage in Miami. And so a lot of people in Florida in general were like, what is this? Where do I learn this? How do I train? And we kind of like received so many requests by DMs or emails sometimes that we said, maybe we should explore it, because the experience that we got from the time that I trained for the buccal was not the best. So I had to like outsource more knowledge from other people, from videos, from practice in general. So I knew definitely there was some room on improvement on that. And I didn't want to recommend my same trainer to somebody else if I wasn't satisfied with it. So it became kind of like an idea behind my mind, but obviously it was going to be adding some more to the table. So my sister was like, are you kidding me? Like one more thing we're going to need to do. But I mentioned it to Andrea and she thought it was the same because she also had horrible experiences with previous trainings or anything like that. So we said, maybe we should do something about it, because I think it's common in the esthetician world that sometimes training is not necessarily properly done. And I guess there's an opportunity in here for us to really deliver what people are hoping for. And they already obviously trust us. We know it works because we're doing it on our clients and our bookings are very high, thankfully. And we're doing this like huge project that's up and coming. So why not? And we were working basically on it. We started training back when we were at Habit Skin Lab. We started doing the trainings in there. But we already had the idea in mind that the academy was going to be a thing. So when we finally found the location, when we were planning on the move, we decided to leave an entire space for the academy. So we have a small area dedicated to that where we are constantly training estheticians. So we do those workshops. We do them on Sundays or Mondays, and then we train on buccal massage, washa, face cupping, and what we call our very own the Daily Habits Holistic Sculpt Method, which is a combination of those techniques that give you this incredible, naturally lifting look that most holistic estheticians are love performing in the treatment room.
I also think that we realized we wanted to create a safe space for estheticians when we were training with like other trainers. Sorry, I realized that they were not sharing 100% information, and all this like competition, like I don't want you to be better than me, and all of that. It happens a lot in the esthetician world, and I feel like in all the different industries.
Yeah.
So I told her like, listen, I don't want to be like that. I want to actually be a trainer that shares everything. Like ask me. That's what we always say when we're teaching other estheticians in our workshops. We're like, you can ask anything that you want. You can even ask my social security. I'll give it to you. Things like that. We're super open about it, and that's again the key to create community. And I feel like we've been having estheticians even from outside United States, like. When we got this girl from Switzerland, she was a dentist, and when we got her, I realized like, wow, we're really a thing. Like people really trust us.
She came all the way from Switzerland. Yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah, and we were like, okay, like this is big. And she came when we were in Habit Skin Lab. So when that happened, I told Lola like, okay, we need to do something with this. People is trusting us. People is liking us because we try to be nice. Like I don't know why we're nice. We're nice. That's it. But we try to be nice, and I think like it's just a trauma from other workshops that we received that we were like, oh, like I paid you this money. I trust you, my knowledge, and all of that, and I didn't feel safe. And it's so
most of the
important to feel safe.
most of the times, I wish I had like a percentage on this, but I don't. But, and you can ask all of your other esthetician friends, but most of the time, a lot of the estheticians don't feel comfortable asking the question. So they might feel that question might be like improper, or might not be, that you may react negatively if they ask for a little bit of extra information, something like, I don't know, where do you source your bed sheets from? Or what type of products are you using for her to look like this? So they might feel like it's invasive because it's like they're stealing something from you. And it's not necessarily the case, especially if you're a trainer. It's like the reason people are coming to train with you is because they have all of these freaking questions that if they knew, they wouldn't be training.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So that's what we wanna have a very safe space for them to ask the questions, even the ones that they think are silly, even the ones that they think might not be fair, because we're willing to share all of this knowledge because we've all been through there, and I personally, going through that growth it feels like I've gone through like 5 different business at the same time. So it's like I've seen the ups and downs on all of this. So I can tell you for a fact, this might work, this might not. And these are all the alternatives that you could try. When sometimes other people don't necessarily share that. I've seen wonderful estheticians out there that also have like their training programs or things like that. And I've seen that maybe sometimes they stick to a specific brand and then that's the only thing they push. And it's not the same for everybody. Not everybody has the same financial stability that you may have. Not everybody has the same capacity. For example, there's so many great brands out there, but the minimum order to start is $10,000. Most solo estheticians are not going to be able to meet that, especially if they're started. So if you have somebody that's training with you, you cannot just train her on that specific product. Yeah. If you know for a fact they're not going to be able to open a $10,000 initial account. It's not a thing.
I think when you're looking for, like, as an esthetician, when I look for someone to train me, I mean, you look for more than just someone who's going to teach you the technique. It's like you want someone who's successful in business and that's going to teach you, like, business skills, wisdom that you may have. Like, it's all from your experience. And I think that trainers can learn a lot from what you're just saying now, because you are paying for, like, you're paying to get information from Lola and Andrea, to be honest. That's why
because there's so many other people that are doing also the same thing. You could choose to train with anybody else. And I think that's one of the main things that differentiate us, is that we honestly are willing to open up our books for you. It's like, this is what we got, this is what we offer you. And then we create a training based on the fact that we have a successful business after 5 years in the industry, which is a small time. It's a business that's entirely profitable. It's a business that's working. It's a business that has proven itself to grow on its own. So this is why we now decide to teach us. Like, this is something that we know works. It's not like we're just teaching it because, we see a gap, she wants to pay me, and I'm going to teach us. Like, no, I know for a fact that this works. And if you follow the steps and if you perform through it, most likely it might work for you.
Love it. So if anyone wants to join your academy, take your classes, where can they find that information?
Yeah, so we have the website, so it's dailyhabitsacademy.com, and then that's where we put the workshops that are available. Normally what they would do is they'll go online, see which workshop resonates with them, and then pick that. They can directly reserve it through there, and then they receive an email for us asking when will be the best date for them to come in. Like I said, these are, also it's important to mention, these are one-on-one workshops. Once a month or every 2 months, we try to launch a group workshop. But most of the time, these are one-on-one, which I think that's also something that's pretty great
That's
for
really
the
good,
price. Because most of the time, other workshops out there have a higher price, but they're a group. It's very hard for you to get full attention from the trainer when you have a group workshop, obviously. So one of the perks is that with us is a one-on-one session. And then you choose whether you do it on a Sunday or a Monday. And we try to accommodate everything within one day because we know, as well as estheticians, and the fact that we are also working, that it's extremely hard for estheticians to get time off their schedule. So that's why we decided to stick to Sundays or Mondays, which are usually the off days, and then they're able to get this full training in one day.
Yeah, and we also have the option online for the buccal massage. You can learn with our online workshop at your own pace from wherever you are in any part of the world. That's another option. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, our website is
I want to
very
come and
nice,
visit the studio now.
I know, I'm thinking the same
Yeah,
thing.
I'm like, I want to get a facial.
I want the whole
please.
experience.
You're gonna love
I
it.
actually really need, like, I'm like looking the entire time that we're talking, I'm like looking at your face, and I'm like, you're so glowy. Like, I'm like telling
That's
myself
true,
in
you
my
look,
head,
super
like,
good today.
Thank you.
yeah. I'm like,
I'm
wow.
recovering from a long flu, so maybe it's
Maybe it helped
It's a
you
glow,
too.
you know.
yeah.
It's a rainbow
it's like
after
coming
the
back to
storm.
life kind of.
Well, thank you for joining us.
Of course.
Yes.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah, super. I think we got like a lot of information. You guys are so knowledgeable and so successful, and it's admirable to see you grow in like such a short period of time.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like it's what you said. You feel like you've had 5 businesses.
Yeah.
And I can tell that you ladies have like, that there's been a lot behind the scenes that we don't see, and I just commend you for like the work that you do.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Please go to the spa. Please.
Yeah.
We will.
I feel like we're gonna book like
You,
very
you
soon.
already were in the original one, so you need to come
I
to
know,
the new version.
Yeah.
And thank you so much for the invite. This is so pretty what you do here.
We've also seen you growing a lot, because look.
Yes,
we're
we
in a
also have
podcast,
grown
so
a
yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so
If
much.
you want to the podcast one day, like in the spa, you can definitely do it. Like,
Yeah.
maybe in the academy.
In the
or something.
academy. You'll be hosted at the academy for the podcast.
Yes, it will be cool.
All right.
Yeah,
Well,
thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
Bye,
Bye,
Esties.
Esties.